Toyota went full Camry and sensible, they built this, the MR2, specifically the second-gen SW20, a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive troublemaker disguised as a practical sports car. Launched in the early 90s with styling cues borrowed from Ferrari and a turbocharged 2-liter borrowed from someone's bad decisions, the MR2 wasn't just affordable, it was dangerously fun. It earned a reputation for snap oversteer, cult classic status, and being a car that made young drivers feel like race car pilots, and sometimes spin like them too. But if your hands and feet commit, Toyota will reward you with one of the best experiences they ever had to offer in a sports car. By 95, it was refined, sharp, and criminally underrated. Light on weight, heavy on personality, and built in a time when Toyota still made cars with a twinkle in their eye. Fictional characters until you sat in them and started them up. The MR2 wasn't a status symbol. It was a secret handshake for people who knew how to drive.
So the one thing that makes me go, oh shift, if you haven't guessed it yet, it's the 3S GTE. 90s, Toyota was just kicking everyone's butt. They were just over-engineering everything.
With the exception of motorsports, specifically the Japan Grand Touring Car Championship, aka JGTC, where the Nissan GTR was dominating the Supra until Toyota replaced the 2JZ for a heavily modified version of the 3S GTE known as the 503E in the Tom Supra. And in 1995, the Castrol Tom Supra beat the GTR with that lighter racing engine. That's why I think the 3S GTE is absolutely legendary.
The fact that it's a mid-engine Toyota from the 90s, I mean, I was just like, sign me up right now. I'll be honest, I think what makes this different from any other 90s sports car is you don't really see a lot of 90s Japanese cars with mid-engines. You do see some, right? Like the NSX. Gosh, other than the NSX, I don't even know right now. But the MR2 was just such a underdog. It was such a unique car that not a lot of people knew about them.
It's like the best kept secret.
A secret kept for over 30 years.
So it is a 1991, and that year is so significant to me because that's the year my father passed away. And shortly after I purchased the car, I became a father myself. So it's a constant reminder of where I come from and the responsibility I now carry forward. It marks a new chapter in my life, a new phase 2.
So phase 2 is a mid-engine rear wheel Toyota from the 90s. So what does that mean? That means you get that Toyota reliability. You get that mid-engine feel that when you step on the pedal and you feel the CT15B, which is the turbo on the Gen 4 3S GTE, when it spools up and you just hear it right behind your head. And you know that, you're not going to be like Paul Walker, right? Brian O'Connor, where he's racing Dom and, manifolds are flying out and stuff like that. No, you could, be pretty confident that I know I could just step on that and just feel the base of the car just like lifting you up and just shooting you down the street. And you're going to get there, you're going to be okay, and you're not going to have to call AAA. And it's just a great feeling. One thing that I modified in this car that remains true to its roots is the engine. the Toyota MR2 with the turbo model came with the 3S GTE. And for me, I wanted to keep the 3S GTE, but since it's considered a Resto-mod, I wanted to make it a little bit newer and more modern. And the design of the Generation 4 3S GTE was really what I was looking for. I think that's one mod that when you look at this car, you can say, hey, it's a Toyota MR2 Turbo, but it is a little bit more modern. Instead of making 195 horsepower stock, it's making, 320 wheel. And it's still in its stock form. So, that's something that I think really modernizes it, but also stays true to its roots.
As for the design, it's got a office Kia front bumper, Greddy side rockers, and border rear spats. The way the bumper openings and the body lines naturally connect with the side rockers and the rear spats, it's just, I think, so harmoniously sculpted. The chef kiss has to be the OG TE37Vs with the deep polished lip and that iconic six-spoke design. It does have Fortune Auto coilovers and air cups, which really helps to overcome, California roads, and an ST43 big brake kit by StopTech. There's so much aftermarket and OEM support for the platform. The interior used to be blue. I thought I might like it, but I tore it all out and put in an all black interior and added some leather and Alcantara seats, redid the gauge cluster, and finished it off with a Greddy Momo Monte Carlo steering wheel. It's such a legendary and versatile platform. When I first got the car, it was just supposed to be a commuter for the 1LE. But when I found out about the racing heritage of the 3S GTE and how Yamaha was involved, I was blown away.
Yeah, there are so many reasons to be blown away. One being that Yamaha worked on the MR2 before the LFA.
It's such a thrill to drive with an upgraded billet wheel and a Lighten flywheel. It just spools so fast and holds the boost all the way up to the red line.
If somebody's only, say, owned a Prius and they sit in phase 2, I think what I want them to really experience is that Toyota isn't just a manufacturer that makes cars that will get you great gas mileage and is just a real driver's car in the sense that, middle class, you're just trying to save on gas. I want you to see that Toyota has a racing heritage, and that racing heritage is defined by the engine that's hissing and whistling and huffing and puffing right behind your head. And that's the 3S GTE. A lot of people talk about snap oversteer. I never knew what that really was, and I frankly didn't care because of all the other things I listed, right? I was like, I'll figure this out later. And I was at the track with a bunch of SW20 owners, and we were just, punching it. And I took a turn at like 90 miles an hour, and I was doing great. But as soon as I let off the throttle, that's when I felt something. I felt the weight shift of the car, and it started kind of drifting, and I tried to control it, and I just lost control and spun out. And that was the first time I experienced snap oversteer. The car went off the road, it spun around. It kind of did like a dance, it planted itself to the right. Then I turned the steering wheel and it went to the left. And then it just kind of spun out and just came back, Other than that, I learned that the snap oversteer, that's kind of something you experience with mid-engine cars. And what you have to do is you just have to trust, process, and just keep your foot on the pedal and not let off and take the turn, and you should be fine.
Whether turning or flat out, it's a straight shot to bliss. One we'd advise not to miss.
If I could give advice to anyone that's looking for a Toyota MR2, I would say be patient. Try to get a clean version And when I say clean, just look for something that isn't abused, as long as the body looks good, doesn't have any rust, because you can do so much with this car. You know, there's K-series options. You could put a K-series in there, amazing. You could put a 3S GTE in there. You could put a V6, a modern V6, a 2GR in there. There's just so many things you can do with it. But if you have a rusty frame or something like that, that's just, it's not fun. So, just save out and just know you're joining the best car community out there. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do? Super owners? Just kidding. I'm just joking. If you get a 90s car and any variation of it had a turbo engine, and you can kind of recreate that and make it your own and do it the way you like it, for me, that's just a O-shift moment. And to have a 3S GTE on my back, like I'm going to school, I feel like a little kid just going to school with my backpack. I'm just walking. I'm that little kid. I'm walking to school, just going, that's how I feel. And I think that's the O-shift moment.
The 1991 Toyota MR2, mid-engine mischief, Toyota reliability.